Well, in the quest for perfection, I know everybody wants to be perfect without actually doing all the work. And, one of the things that people have a problem with a lot of times with getting on a detox program, going on to Whole Foods and everything, it's not that easy to do because you don't have the time or the convenience. And maybe there's other ways you can actually get around some of this. I talked about nicotinic acid, vitamin B3, but also biotin. Biotin's another great vitamin, sometimes referred to as vitamin B7 or vitamin H. Um, a lot of times people can take higher doses of this. Some people get a reaction. Most people have good results with it. It could help with resulting in weight loss over a period of time because biotin is used to metabolize carbohydrates. Now, same with vitamin B3, but you want to use the real true type nicotinic acid, which is the flush type. Now, I can also state that well, I used to take a lot of this stuff too before, and when I was really getting into the cardio program to the max, um, and you can find that sometimes when you have just the right synergistic combination of not just foods but also supplements, that your fats get processed very easily and you don't have this craving and you don't feel like you're ready to fall over because your brain doesn't have enough enough carbohydrate to keep yourselves going. And also you got to remember to take good fats and cholesterol to keep the mental alertness going. Now, I know this video is mainly about biotin, but also if you're taking vitamin B3, niacin, nicotinic acid, that is also good for helping metabolize the fats, which makes it easier to burn up fats when you're doing cardio. Because really, when you're doing cardio, you want to be doing it on an empty stomach. Now, I know what schedule worked for me the best. Man, I lost like freaking 87 pounds inside of like no time, about 5 months, and a little under 5 months actually. And I was like ribs. I was down to 7% body fat, 7.5 to 8%, and dropped the weight in a good way and got a lot of lean muscle mass. And I got off the program because it's kind of a time-consuming thing. But one of the things I used to do was I used to eat apples in the morning, 3 or 4 apples. That was breakfast. Lunch was fish and different types of vegetables with coconut oil on it and various herbs and hot peppers. And then I would cardio, 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 cardio. Um, Several hours later, about 6 o'clock in the evening to about 9 in the evening. It was 3 hours. Then I'd have a late night meal, which some people would say not to do that, but the cardio at that time, after pretty much burning up all that energy in a day, worked great. And I think the supplements put me over on the edge. Now, biotin is also known for hair health and skin health and nails. And a lot of times people get great results from it. Not every time, because I could tell you it's like if you're missing one thing, it can make all the difference in the world. You can have all the great nutrition, but if you're missing this one thing, it's a problem. But biotin typically is also known as the beauty vitamin for a specific reason because it's hair, skin, nails health, and also it's the carbohydrate metabolism. Also want to again mention the niacin, which is the true nicotinic acid vitamin B3, which is a great detoxifier, which can actually, I've said it on other videos, but it bears repeating here because somebody might not have seen that other video, but many times fats are used to trap toxins that could be dangerous to the vital organs. So niacin will detoxify those fats and actually destroy those fats permanently rather than just getting them reduced. It'll actually destroy that fat cell permanently. But you have to actually go kind of slow on some of this stuff. When you're working out, though, one of the advantages of sweating too is that you're bringing out the toxins. Now, when you're doing that, you got to watch that you're also sweating out a lot of your essential trace elements like selenium, for instance. But you might want to take some of the best types of Himalayan salts, which contain a lot of the trace elements, or sometimes there's a supplements that actually contain selenium plus other trace elements, because if you're sweating out a lot, you lose those trace elements. Sometimes that's really why there's been studies in the past that showed highly trained athletes often did not live as long as couch potatoes, because they kept sweating out all the trace elements. And it's not because they strained their body and all this kind of stuff. That some of it has something to do with that sometimes, because when you work out very hard, you actually are producing things that are harmful to the body, in because of the debris which is left over from the carbohydrate synthesis. So you are producing things damaging to the body, free radicals, when you work out very hard, and actually you cause a little bit of damage to your muscles, and it repairs itself, of course. But that's a matter of, you got to have the right nutrition to balance this out. And there's different types of working out that you can do to sometimes help the healing process if you overdo it. Mild working out, just to put it on this video, which is not really of the subject matter, biotin, but mild working out like a long walk and things like that can aid in speeding up the healing process from overdoing things. When you say you overexert yourself, the blood flow can carry out the lactic acid and the toxins and help the blood go to areas that can bring healing nutrients to areas that need to be repaired. Now, a lot of people don't realize that biotin, and I know people who do realize it, though, usually are women that have been into health and beauty. A lot of the women that are really into staying in real slim shape and very healthful and not getting an ounce of fat on them, which is their ideal goal, is they take biotin often. Now, I was taking that quite a bit. I forgot about it, in which, like, I have a lot of different supplements, and sometimes I forget about some of the more important ones. Vitamin C, I think, is the most important one. That's the one you really should supplement. And yes, it would be best to take camu berry, but it's very expensive to take that. But it's best to take it by natural sources through whole fruits, and also plain old ascorbic acid. I mean, in most cases, though, vitamins that are not natural will not work the same as the artificial vitamins. That's the case of niacin, vitamin B3. That's the case in the case of vitamin E. That's also in the case of lycopene, which comes from the tomato, which you could buy tomato, which that's the brand name of it, where lycopene synthetically made does not help the body as much, and in many cases doesn't do a damn thing. For, like, say, prostate cancer, as Lacamato would do, which comes from the tomato. Yeah, so it is definitely best to take all organic foods and whole foods, and meat, mainly vegetables, and with fruits and almonds and nuts and things like that, for sure. But what I'm actually putting this out for, because this can help some of these vitamins, like vitamin C, vitamin D3 combined with K2. In the case of vitamin D3, if every 1,000 international units you take 100 micrograms of vitamin K2. In the case of vitamin B3, nicotinic acid, the true nicotinic acid, I see pills out there that sell 500 milligrams, which is 10 times what they recommend from the doctors, but that's not a high dosage, actually. I'm taking several thousand milligrams of it a day, and I noticed it improved my eyesight right away. I was surprised about that. And I feel like I have more energy. But biotin is another thing I'm getting on with again, and I'm taking 5,000 micrograms mcg of it a day, or maybe 10,000 once in a while initially, and we'll see where it goes, because I noticed that a lot of the multivitamins out there do not contain that much biotin. So, taking something like Nature's Way Alive whole food vitamins and energizer with green foods, that might be a great thing, but I notice it doesn't have that much biotin, and it does not have the true form of niacin, nicotinic acid, or vitamin B3. And those two vitamins, nicotinic acid, vitamin B3, the true form, and biotin, can help metabolize carbohydrates, which can give you a hell of a lot more energy to go through your workout, and then you get on to where you start processing the fats. And I know there is a trick, because once you get in on that roll, it's like fat just burns away really, really quick. But I also want to just put this out for people that, if you don't have time to work out, because I really don't have time to work out anymore. It's like I got too many things going on. I used to take my laptop and my wireless internet connection to the gym and try to work maybe for an hour out of the 3 hours, get some reading done and things done while working out. But it's very difficult to even get that much done while you're working out, because you got to concentrate on working out. It's usually in the beginning you could do that. So I'm recommending some of these things as for people that have this busy lifestyle. And I know, like, the best thing is to just take whole foods, organic vegetables. I know, blah blah blah. Thing is, when you're busy and you're out with other people, and people are going to restaurants, you're meeting with clients or whatever the hell you're doing, or just out with other people, it's like you get off track very easily. If you get on track, it works like crazy. But people are just diverted a lot. I know I'm diverted a lot, and it's like the antioxidants and the good stuff is like quenching the fire. But people are putting more and more fuel on the fire with a lot of the bad stuff. So what can you do? What can you do? Well, maybe it's a little bit more of using the types of supplements that kind of work as the fire extinguishers, like niacin, vitamin C, or niacin, nicotinic acid, B3, the true form, vitamin C, vitamin D3 with K2, and biotin. Biotin, in other words, biotin, which has had great results for people slimming down. It's not going to actually, if you're taking biotin, I'm going to tell you honestly, you probably will lose a little bit of weight over a year without even trying. If you're taking a little bit higher doses of vitamin B3, nicotinic acid, you're probably going to lose some weight without even trying. There's been studies out there that show that there's a significant reduction of internal fat, which is the midsection, the internal fat of people who take those supplements. I've read these before, but then there's other studies that say no, no, no. And honestly, it's difficult to sift through these things, because many times, I swear to God, there's studies that are put out there by, I just say, the money powers that are into the medical and the pharmaceutical, to refute the benefits of taking more vitamins. One of the problems we got today is that we don't have organic foods in our supermarkets. We're getting subjected to genetically modified, besides processed with herbicides and pesticides. We're subjected to many toxins. Many people are on pharmaceuticals. And yes, I can name a number of things to help detox, which could be activated charcoal, could be iodine, a lot of different things. But don't ignore biotin. Biotin, the reason I'm recommending this is it's cheap. It's inexpensive. It doesn't cost much. Yes, it's widely available in vegetables and almonds and things like that, but you're probably still not getting enough. And like I said, people just don't eat right. That's the reality of it. People try to eat right, but then it's like, for convenience, it doesn't happen. And then there's too much time restraints on, going to the gym and all this type of stuff. So these are things I'm suggesting to kind of counteract when, more fuel is putting on the fires that cause people to lose energy, cause people to, get fatter and that type of stuff. And These are some of the simplest, cheapest things I could think of in a pill form. It's not the be-all answer of everything, of course, that can help you, fight some of these problems that we have in modern day life. Biotin, again, it's a beauty vitamin. It's also known as, carbohydrate synthesis, hair, skin, and nails. A lot of people aren't really aware of it. And a lot of times, multivitamins don't contain that much of this stuff. They might contain a minuscule amount. I even noticed some of the best multivitamins don't contain that much biotin. And I remember I used to take this stuff all the time. I don't know if it's one of the things that helped me drop weight like crazy. I know when I work out, I've been used to working out for many years, and it seems like everything clicks in again, and blah, 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 and I just lose weight like a son of a bitch. But it's like, to me, most people find a lot of benefits to this vitamin. There are a few people that get reactions. So I have to warn you. So if you take it and, I said it's got skin health, some people have problems where they could break out in a skin rash from taking biotin. Most people don't. Most people find their nails grow better, their hair is healthier, their skin's glowing better, and they find they start losing weight over a period of time without even trying. But I would also recommend taking it with a high quality multivitamin that contains green foods, also the nicotinic acid, the vitamin D3 along with the K2, and the good oils and niacin, the nicotinic acid type. It might be the right combination to help counter the effects of all the garbage we put up with in modern day life, whether it's food, stress, rules and regulations, and time restraints, and all this other bullshit that goes on that actually contributes to stress, which actually contributes to you gaining weight too in a lot of ways. Actually, exercise is one of the best de-stressors going. A lot of people don't realize that too. And one of the things that we can do though is just sometimes just take some of these simple supplements. Also, I would also recommend on this video too, apples are one of your best fruits to take to even help burn carbohydrates. Even though they got carbohydrates in them and they got fats, they got malic acid, which helps burn up fats. And it's a simple food to take where you can eat the whole apple, which you also want to eat the seeds too, because the seeds contain laetrile, sometimes nicknamed vitamin B17, which laetrile is also known as an anti-cancer agent. That's why, and you don't want to eat a whole bunch of seeds. That's a separate subject, but I want to throw it in on this video. But that's another trick, because I know if you're looking at this video, probably you're looking at, well, how do I lose weight easy? Well, that's another thing. Sometimes I noticed when I was really craving and I felt like I was bonking, if I had an apple on hand, I would eat the apple, and it was just enough to keep me over to, stave off a couple more hours without eating. And there is, like I said, malic acid that's in the apple will help to burn the fat, but it's a very easy fruit to keep on hand, unlike oranges or something, which you got to peel them and all this other stuff. An apple is common, it's very easy to find. Best to get organic apples, but I know I didn't usually do that, but still, it worked pretty damn well. And eat the whole apple, and you don't have nothing to throw away. The seeds are actually good for you too. So, just want to throw these tips, but I think biotin, it's only a few bucks for a pretty high dosage of biotin of 5,000 micrograms, and for that few bucks, that'll last you many months. You'll probably see, most people are going to see good results, but a few people are probably not going to see good results, or there might even have a reaction to it. So, you got to listen to your own body. I don't know why certain people have reactions to higher doses of the biotin, but a few do. Most people get very good results from it. But cost per what it can do for most people, it's well worth it. And like I said, most multivitamins, even the high-end multivitamins, do not have that much biotin, and they have very little. I don't know why they don't put a lot in there, but it seems they should. And most high-quality vitamins, multivitamins, don't have the right type of vitamin B3, which is nicotinic acid, which gives you the flush, which is the type that gives you the detox, which can detox, even destroy fats by when it detoxes fats that trap toxins. So these things are very simple, and I know the real correct answer is grow your own garden, grow your own vegetables, use all organic. Yeah, I know, but it's like, you have your whole life wrapped around this. It's like when they fix the supermarkets, which I don't think they'll ever do. Yeah, it'll be fine, but in the meantime, big corporations are trying to poison us, and we don't have time to do everything right. So what are the simplest ways to counteract, the big corporations with the way they process foods, and all the big companies out there? What do? Some of the best things are through some supplements, and most of the time they're going to work for most of the people. So there you go.